Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good news stuff for you today. And I'm on my absolute favorite website in the world, Bitcoin.com. Everybody knows that this is my favorite website. And I want to know, how are you guys doing today? Put in the comments below how you're doing, what you've been up to, what you've been up to in the crypto world, what you've been investing in, what have you been doing in this bear market? Just let me know, because I always read the comments, so don't worry, it won't go unread. But I just want to say that, I am back from Seattle. I've been back since, Friday evening, and really glad to be back in my own little world, and just got a new car, and Nissan Sentra 2018, so it's not too bad. It's like the midnight edition, so it looks pretty cool. Because my old car, the AC died in it when I was trying to go to San Diego, and that wasn't good, so that was kind of the final straw for my old car. So now I just got a car payment, so it's pretty cool until you get that car payment, isn't it, huh? Excuse me. The article I have here is kind of a funny one. It says, "Have you ever tried blockchain 5.0 yet?" Nobody else has either. So that's been going around as kind of a meme. The 5.0 blockchain snake oil cures all. Do you believe in science? Kind of like going back to the days when Lucky Strike cigarettes were good for you. You guys remember that? Well, I don't, because it was way before probably all of our time. But it's like, Lucky Strike cigarettes, recommended by 4 out of 5 doctors for all children with a sore throat or polio. Lucky Strike cigarettes, taste good and good for ya. So, good old snake oil, Over the past few years, the buzzwords blockchain technology has been tied to literally every industry under the sun. And cryptocurrencies had a wild year in 2017. Seems that during that time, distributed ledger technologies made it all the way to blockchain 5.0 era. But there's a big problem. No one reporting on these projects has tried these networks. So this is kind of what I've been getting at for a while. This article kind of sums up in a very subtle way what my channel is all about and why I don't, shill ICOs, or at least not every ICO that I see. Technically, I think I've only shilled like 2, and one was a friend of a friend. So, but either way, this is why that my email gets filled up with offers, and then it gets quickly deleted, because nobody can report on these projects properly. Nobody has actually tested any of these projects. Nobody knows if they're a scam, and therefore I'm not going to promote it if I don't know anything about it, and can't actually find anything about it, because most of the time, excuse me, my voice must have been all that apple juice. I was trying to make sure that my voice was nice and not spitty with apple juice. But, the idea that, nobody can test these. And when you go on their websites to learn about them, it's all just a word salad of corporate nonsense of like, this is blockchain 5.0 and we're blah, 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 this and that. And it sounds like every other ICO. And then turns out 80% of them are just totally dead after just a few months. So back in 2009, a network was launched which produced a digital currency Bitcoin, and no one moved a muscle. These days, cryptocurrencies are a hell of a lot more popular than those days, but there are some people who have this idea that the technology behind digital currencies represents the real innovation. You've heard it time and time again, that blockchain technology will revolutionize the world, and every industry will be touched by this remarkable software. Supposedly, blockchains will transform finance, the clothing industry, movies, food, music, healthcare, and basically the entire supply chain one block at a time. So blockchain immutability is a fallacy. While they are pretty immutable, it's not exactly the definition of immutable. There's just one glaring issue for these distributed ledger projects that hope to change the world. No one uses these networks, and some probably don't even exist. But what's worse is they also fraudulently claim that they can solve an age-old computer system problem that cannot be solved, immutability. So blockchain projects that claim immutability, which is a large representation of nearly every blockchain out there today, are misleading, and these systems can never be 100% immutable. Just like there's no such thing as a 100% guarantee, and a lot of things that aren't truly guaranteed in the world. The well-known Bitcoin evangelist Chris DeRose explained 2 years ago that blockchain immutability is a perpetual motion claim. While many have been caught up in the hype behind immutability, most of these claims will at best regress to the basic signing mechanisms that have been in place for decades, with little to differentiate their systems from incumbent message passing solutions, DeRose explains. It says, on paper, immutability sounds nice. It seems to be a dubious proposition that some magically benevolent server will show up to perform this service. And certainly, blockchain will not make that benevolence any easier than it is with incumbent HTTP systems. So most of today's blockchain technology projects and bank chains were merely client-server network databases, word salad press releases, and pure vaporware. So then there are distributed ledger technology projects created by the very banks who once mocked Bitcoin. There have been so many of these private blockchain projects announcing that they have the next great blockchain that will wipe public blockchains off the map. Yet none of them have been revolutionary so far, and no one from the general public seems to be using these DLT solutions unless it's a trial run wrapped up in a fancy wording, wrapping paper, and sent to publications like Forbes and Bloomberg. And let me just note on that a lot of the offers that I receive in my emails, and I don't mean to sound special at all, like if you have a YouTube channel and you start doing crypto and you start getting cached on Google and known, at least to some degree, at least to the point where somebody can type in crypto and eventually find your video, whether it's on the first page or the third page, you're going to receive a bunch of emails for these stupid offers of like, oh, work with us on this project, work with us in this ICO. Can we use your channel to advertise? Can we do this? Can we advertise? Can you sell this? All these things. It's just unbelievable how much you get. And then they like to claim that, hey, we are, we are, you know, our marketing goes on Forbes and Bloomberg. It goes on all these different channels and ABC and Fox and this, that, and the other thing. And, a lot of the times the ICO spam that you get is from marketers who actually just basically accept hundreds of ICOs and then they try to market them to YouTubers. So essentially they're just a middleman, and then they're using YouTubers to advertise. Or you get something about some new coin and they're like, hey, we don't want to give you any coins because we don't like to, we don't feel that it's worth it to give too much to small channels. And that's just kind of like, well, so you basically want small channels to work for you and not give them anything for their time and for their advertisement and for their effort? Screw you. Your email's getting deleted. You know, that sort of thing. And it happens all the time. And one thing that you notice on these Forbes and Bloomberg and Fox and whenever they show, these ICOs show that they are in the media, and then they show all their links to the various media, is that it's the same exact article over and over and over. So basically, somebody wrote this article, likely from the ICO or the developers themselves, and then sent it out to numerous publications for money, and paid them, like, who knows, maybe $200 to post our article here, here, and here, and here. And in the long run, that's not a lot because they probably raised millions in their ICO. But what you got to understand is it's the same article over and over and over on all of the media. And that represents a big problem. That represents a level of fraud or misleading because, yes, they're published on all of these media outlets that are legit media outlets, but it's all the same article. So now you have to question both the media outlet for accepting this written article on somebody else's behalf, and they're not writing their own article. So their journalists are not writing the article, their own review of it. It's just a basic cut and paste article plastered on each one. And that screams to me laziness, it screams misleading, it screams bad journalism, and it screams stay away from my project. If you can't have anybody legitimately criticize or write their own article or own review on your technology, then then you're not worth my time. So do they criticize a blockchain system they have never tried? No, usually they write up a nice little article that makes these blockchain projects look good, even though the journalist never tried the system or let alone seen it in action. So that's another thing. But most of the time, the journalists never wrote the article themselves. The developers gave them an article, and I've seen that over and over, and I've put it in my channel numerous times calling them out. So R3 Corda is not a blockchain, and we didn't say it was, as critics take aim. So this is basically Corda saying, we didn't say it was a blockchain. Well, it says, know your customer on Corda blockchain platform. Oh, what is that? What is it? A blockchain. So this Tuesday, the blockchain firm R3 released its Corda blockchain platform after initially making a big fuss on how Corda technology was not a blockchain. R3 website visitors will see that the company clearly calls Corda a blockchain, and according to the company, over 39 firms are testing this enterprise software. But what makes Corda so revolutionary, or any of these blockchain projects for that matter, who set up a bunch of privatized nodes that can relay and timestamp transactions? All we have is their word, no third-party reviews, just a press release and decentralized word salad. So again, this is exactly why I don't really shill on my channel. You know, it's just look at this, and this is I see things that maybe others don't, at least some others, and I don't mean to say everybody, but I see these constant emails coming my way to advertise for virtually free, and that's a great way to do it. I mean, think about it. It's a great way to do it. If you have an ICO or you create a coin, all you have to do is log on to YouTube, collect about 100 emails, make an email list, and then send it off to every one of them. And you're going to get some of, 30%, 50% of those YouTubers. Who knows? I'm just ballparking percentages on there, so don't take that too seriously. But a lot of these YouTubers are just going to go with it, and they're going to feel honored that they got this advertising email, and they're going to go with it, and they're going to advertise for free on part of these ICOs because they have a referral link, right? So most of them aren't even getting paid for this, aside from anybody who signs up to the link. So there are no third-party reviews. All you have is their word, and that's a big problem in the cryptocurrency world. Now, there are some very good cryptos in the world. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and you name it, that are solid, working, functioning blockchain coins that can be used for transactions, for holding money, for creating money. Great. But most of these are just straight up money-making advertisements, money-making ICOs just to make money. They don't even have a good project. They don't even have a good idea. They're like, hey, let's do the ICO first and get all of our money, and then we'll make the product, which never really happens. So the fact is, a very large portion of these blockchain projects are overhyped press releases that exemplify the true meaning of vaporware. Can we trust a group of incumbents that say on paper they've created some revolutionary blockchain just because it's Visa? At least with Bitcoin and Ethereum, public chains, people can differentiate between something that works, something that is shit, and something that is vapor. With the bank chains and blockchain technology hype, it's all based on words stemming from the horse's mouth and what they choose to tell you. Have you ever tried Blockchain 5.0 yet? I sure haven't, and I haven't either. So hopefully, one of these days, this all changes around because it's soaking up all of the money from good projects. People are putting so much money into these ICOs, and they don't even have anybody to trust behind them. Most of the time, there's no faces. Most of the time, there's nobody to get a hold of. Most of the time, there's nobody testing this. I hate to spread any kind of... I hope you guys didn't take that as FUD, but I saw this article, and I thought it was really relevant with today. I thought it was kind of well written and really shows that most of the stuff that is coming out is just pure vaporware for money. And people are falling into it because of the 2017 hype when you could just invest into whatever ICO. I mean, you could essentially just close your eyes, invest into an ICO, wait 3 months, sell it when it goes out to an exchange, and, tenfold your money. But that's just not the case anymore. That can't last forever. It's the kind of thing where, you know, too many people getting into one good thing ruins that good thing, right? Because it can't last forever. And that's the kind of thing with pyramid schemes, is that the people that get in last, the more people that pour in, the less they're getting over time. Here's a good example. Here's a really good example, in my opinion. You know, when you're driving down a busy highway and then the highway really starts to slow down, right? And you're starting to a crawl because of maybe some accident, maybe just it's just so congested, and all the off ramps are totally filled, and it's just starting to get congested, and you're going 20 miles an hour. And you look to the left and you see a lane open and you see people whizzing by you. So you think, okay, well, I'm going to get in that lane because I still have 10 miles to go before my exit. Well, the thing is too many people getting into one thing means that's not going to last forever. And so you know that if you get into that lane, sure, you're going to go about 200 feet down the road, and then that lane is going to stop, and then the lane that you were in is going to go past you because you chose to go where everybody else was going. You tried to take that easy route, and you know it's just not going to last forever, and that one's going to get clogged up too because everybody's going to have that same idea. And that's the way it works in finance and everything in the world, is that when too many people are going into one area. And that just goes to show with crypto too. Too many people getting into crypto, you know, because at first Bitcoin was 10 bucks. Well, it was technically less than that, but let's just start with 10 bucks. 10 bucks, right? And now, you know, and then it went to 20,000. And, you know, people were trying to get in at 15,000, and it was way, way too late. It was too much of a good thing, and there was too many people trying to get in at 15,000. You might think, well, he's not going to raise the price. Well, it did, but it caused a shock, and numerous things caused it to crash. So let's move on here. Cobinhood launches a cryptocurrency fiat trading pair. So based on the new feature, users will be able to trade US dollar in exchange for virtual coins and vice versa. Before the announcement, Cobinhood only dealt in crypto trading pairs due to the regulatory and compliance requirements of fiat deposits and withdrawals. So according to the company, deposits in US dollar will be accepted on the platform beginning July 20th. 2018, so just in 5 days. So as part of ongoing efforts to make the plan a reality, the company has been working to ensure that it remains in compliance with laid down statutes. Cobinhood has been developing robust KYC, or Know Your Customer, protocols. In fact, the company reported meets the KYC level 3 grade, which allows it to operate in even the strictest financial jurisdictions worldwide. Of particular importance to any exchange platform offering fiat trading is a reliable payments partner. Cobinhood has secured an agreement with ePay to provide a seamless payment interface for its operations. The company has also recently unveiled plans to create a decentralized exchange platform. So then they go on to think that crypto prices will increase in 2019, and who knows? Why not? You know, they might. I believe, and I thoroughly believe, that in Q4 of this year that crypto prices will increase, as they usually do. As most of the time, usually early December is one of the highest times of the year. Some years it's November, but it's around that time between those 2 months that Bitcoin and such is usually at its highest point. Then what happens is everybody sells it off. For numerous reasons. There's Christmas, there's New Year's, there's also selling it off before the year ends so that they can pay their taxes in the new year coming up. There's also the Chinese New Year, which occurs, I believe in like February, I think, something like that. It's a little after January, late January, something like that. And there's a lot of sell-off in Asia for that, and a lot of other things. I feel like I'm stuttering a lot today. I don't know why, but so prices, it's generally pretty easy to say that prices are typically at its highest around November, December, early December, somewhere around there. You know, and you can look at CoinMarketCap and you can study when you can go back year and year and year. You can confine it to certain years, like the end of 2017, the end of 2016, and so on and so on. And you can take a look at that for yourself. And numerous times in my channel, I have showed you guys that how every January it's usually at its lowest point, or February, the very beginning of February. So it's a good time to sell in December and then be patient and wait till about February when you buy in at the lowest price. So no reason to say that they won't increase in 2019, but it is a bold statement to say that they will increase in 2019. So moving on here, ex-Macau Gangsters ICO raises $750 million in under 5 minutes. So former gangster Juan Kwok Koi, I don't know if I said that right, but wow, witnessed the launch of his ICO at a posh event in Cambodia and continued to find success selling his HB tokens in Thailand and the Philippines. Overall, Juan has reportedly sold 450 million out of a planned 500 million tokens offered to the public. The ICO tour is set to conclude later this month in Malaysia. But the ex-Macau triad has seen his offering make headlines after media said he was able to raise 750 million in less than 5 minutes and will probably never see a product out of this. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Well, he was an ex-gangster, but, you know, it just goes to show that most ICOs, just 80% of them, 50% of them at least, don't ever come up with any kind of reasonable product in the end. So Juan's investment firm has partnered with Zongo Gongsun Cosmos, Beijing, oh wow, Internet Technology Limited, to put on a chess and poker contest during October in Hainan. Cosmos staff member Jia said rewards would be the equivalent of more than 10 million yuan and could be a mixture of HB tokens and cash. So shaky and sketchy details. Yeah, you think so? 750 million in 5 minutes and there's not shaky or sketchy details? I would be surprised. Oh man. My voice today. However, many are expressing skepticism about the whole operation. So Cosmos' parent company hints at being state-owned, but staffers have given contradictory answers so far when asked to disclose more details by media. According to their website, the company says they own some game halls and have government approval to host 2 types of poker games. But some believe the action of using digital currency as a payment for chess and poker games could run afoul of Chinese gambling laws. Authorities in the country recently shut down an online gambling ring that saw bets being made with cryptocurrencies. Others are concerned about the actual HB token. Shubei founder Li Yongfeng said the digital currency's lack of source code makes it impossible for people to keep tabs and verify HB. Who would have thought? Again, really ties back into that first article, doesn't it? It is currently traded on the Allen Exchange, whose company is reportedly listed on Google as an electronics store. So Juan's background in the criminal underworld has people questioning his plans. The former triad boss, or triad boss, was released in December 2012 after serving 14 years in the maximum security Kolane prison. Boy, I'd hate to be in a Chinese prison. It's got to be kind of grim. Some of the charges against him included conspiracy to import military-grade weapons and bullets to help carry out criminal battles. Battles, not even criminal activity. Battles. Spectators commented on Juan's apparent continued influence despite being behind bars for more than a decade, pointing out how the gangster had a 100-table feast prepared at an exclusive table in celebration of his release. Juan left the prison inside of a Lexus accompanied by 2 guards. At the time, Juan said that he had no intention of affecting the stability of Macau, going back to his old ways. By going back to his old ways. But some officials believed he had his eye on re-entering the casino scene and planned to be extra vigilant when it came to licenses. Juan is currently blacklisted from entering Hong Kong. So it is what it is. We'll probably see this in the news at another point. And you bet I'll make sure that I remember this one and see if something bad happens here, because 750 million in less than 5 minutes is just, I mean, it's borderline $1 billion in 5 minutes. That's crazy. That's like Wall Street level of like the entirety like going through in 5 minutes. I don't even know if it is $750 million. So let's check out CoinMarketCap. We're at 256 billion. We can give a good old refresh here. 255 billion. My bad. And we are slowly starting to rise. And a slow rise is a good rise, because whenever we see these big chunks here and these big whale purchases, it is never particularly good. So EOS back up pretty high as usual. It sinks and dives more than most coins we see around here. And it does look like some of the coins that CoinMarketCap said that they are, Coinbase said that they were exploring, that they're thinking about exploring, that maybe one day that they could continue to explore once they figure out how they're done exploring them. Are all pumping pretty good. Cardano and Stellar. Looks like most things are in the green and doing pretty good, but I don't expect to get above 7,000, at least not yet. I'm thinking probably maybe October or September when we're really going to start to see a bigger rise. Again, quarter four, usually the end of the fall, just winter is typically much better for even the stock market itself. October is usually the best market for October. For the stock market, October is best month for the stock market. Oh my, I'm just all over the place. So that's usually true, and that's with investments coming in like that, it will help cryptocurrency as well. But we may, if you happen to see any whale purchases, it may be a good time to watch the market for a nice dip, because a whale purchase is always followed by a whale sell-off. And it is a good way to make money when you see that whale purchase. Your asset has risen, and I'm not saying to sell on those whale purchases, but just keep an eye on them. Because I can't really tell you when to sell and when to buy, because even I can't tell myself when to buy and when to sell. You just have to do all the research you can, look at the volume, look at the situation, but again, there's been a lot of whale purchases and sell-offs, and really good to follow those. It's pretty lucrative. It's pretty easy to do. You see a couple whale purchases, you wait a couple days, just keep an eye on the market, and just before a whale sell-off occurs, or when it is occurring, then you sell off too, and then you pick it back up $400 or $500 less than what you just sold it, and rinse and repeat for a month, and you have turned quite a good profit depending on what you have invested. But I hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.